Hello, ladies. Here is another video that I'm back with today. All right, ladies, this one is how to prevent a man from wasting your time and stringing you along. Have you been someone's girlfriend for years when you would rather be a wife? Well, if so, this situation is for you. So, as you may or may not know, it does not take a man years to know whether he wants you as his wife or not. You don't have to be his girlfriend for 6 years. You don't have to, without a ring, you don't have to audition to be his wife by playing wifey, moving in with him, and seeing where this goes. You don't have to do any of that, okay? Men already know when they see you what their intentions are. It does not take them years to know, all right? Similarly, so I'm going to give you the secret here, all right, ladies? This is, and it's written in the Bible. People think it's an old stuffy book. There's a lot of wisdom in that Bible, okay? People call it an old stuffy book. They'd rather not read it. They think it's boring. There's ancient wisdom in that book. The secret is keep your legs closed until marriage. I know that sounds, this is not, and you can definitely do that, okay? But you have to follow some procedures and some protocols. But if you do not want your time to be wasted, that's the secret. You got to keep your legs closed. If you keep your legs closed, he's going to make his mind up real quick. Okay? Ladies are out here making things comfortable for a guy. Then he gets comfortable wasting your time for years on end. We're not having that, okay? Guys are very decisive. They can take one look at you and they're like, no, 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 no. Friend zone, girlfriend, wifey. They can take one look at you and determine that, okay? Stop making it comfortable for these guys to string you along and waste your time. Okay, if a guy's not getting what he wants from you, he's not getting access to your body, he's going to eventually leave. He's going to get tired of that. And there are a few exceptions, those guys that cling on like in the friend zone for years. We're not talking about them because you don't want a relationship with them anyway. That's where they're in the friend zone. But we're talking about a guy who does not have good intentions for you and he only wants to use you for your body. He's going to be gone within a matter of days, weeks, or even months. Now, this is not a game. This is not, this is for your protection. That's all it is. This is not a 3-month rule. Guys already know about that. This is well beyond that. This is not a 6-month rule. This is a personal boundary rule. Stop giving your body away to men who are not your husband. Right? That's anytime you have, ex, you know what I'm saying, with a guy before marriage, it's a risk, you know? And I'm not saying, oh, I waited till marriage and, now I'm seeing this side of him that I didn't know. I'm not saying that, nothing's foolproof in that case, but this has worked like a charm every single time. To see a man's true character, to protect yourself, and you'll be so glad that you didn't, because a lot of them just want to, sleep with you and then they take off, right? And they leave and you never hear from them again, or maybe a few months when they want to come back and they want another piece of action or whatever. That's when they come back in a few months, right? A lot of them get what they want and then they leave. You never hear from them again, or you hear from them inconsistently, like down the line, right? So I'm saying to avoid that trap, to avoid being strung along, having your time wasted for years, just keep your legs closed. And ladies, I want to say in general, ladies have more self control in that area, unless maybe something traumatic might have happened in her past. But generally, we hold the key. The ball, the ball's in our court, in that area. So I would say we use that self control that we ladies have, and in order to avoid that, like in my previous video, I stated you have to be firm. As a woman, you have to be firm on your stance. Don't let these guys convince you to drop your standards or to lower your guard. That only resulted ruin. I don't care how friendly a guy seems, how nice or sweet or whatever, or normal. We do not tell men where we live. Okay? That's rule number one. Do not let him find out where you live by any means. be very vague. It's none of his business. That's the first thing they will try to do is find out where you live. And if you say no, that's like a boundary that a lot of them have trouble accepting. But there's only one reason why he wants to know where you live, and that's to get in your pants, really. But once a man knows where you live, he can stalk you, he can show up there at random times, he can come over and not leave, and you'll have to call the police to get him removed. We don't want that. He can do anything. He can attack you, he can be a stalker, he can do anything. So I don't care how normal a guy seems. A lot of guys know how to hide the crazy at first, okay? For months even. So we're not going to tell guys where we live, no matter how normal they seem, how comfortable you feel with that guy. Okay, there's another side to many people, just lurking, just waiting to come out, and people know how to hide it. I mean, of course, if you're not sleeping with them, you'll be able to detect and see the crazy a lot more easily. Versus sleeping with someone, you might miss some. You might diminish the red flags because of your feelings for them. You're feeling attached. If you're sleeping with this person, you might be feeling attached to them emotionally, and you might think they're the greatest things since sliced bread and start overlooking the red flags and making excuses for them. So thankfully, this has helped me throughout dating to really discern and weed out the guys with the bad intentions, the nefarious intentions. Thank God it has worked every single time. Be firm in your boundaries, okay? Do not tell men where you live. Do not allow them to follow you home. All right, some guys are very insistent on knowing where you live. And if that's the case, you got to shut him down right then and there. Okay, that's not a guy that respects your boundaries. And that in itself is a red flag. A man who does not take no for an answer, red flag. Get away from him. That's a person who has the potential to grape somebody, a man who cannot accept boundaries and who could not accept no for an answer. In my mind, that's pretty much a grapist, okay? People need to learn to respect your boundaries and let your no mean no and your yes mean yes, okay? Don't allow men to coerce you or make you feel guilty or convince you to do something that you really are not comfortable with. A lot of times, men push past your boundaries, subtly, little by little. They try to get you to do things that you're not comfortable with. If your boundary was firm to begin with, keep it firm, all right? We're not going to lower our boundaries or, men try to pressure you or they try to be insistent in hopes that you'll eventually, it's not going to work, okay, if you're firm. And so, and really, there's something that people call, grape by coercion, which is what I've seen a lot of people do. Like, if a man is very insistent, you need to shut him down and be like, okay, you know what? I really don't want to do this. Get out. We're done. Like, cut him off right then and there and don't look back. But, men know that it's a lot easier to get you to violate your boundaries when you're indoors or whatever, when you're already in a setting where, intimacy could happen. They know that. So to avoid that, you have to put up safeguards and precautions. And that's why I feel that it's very important to keep your dates public the entire time at all times. But you don't know this man, but insist on public dates and don't back down on that. Because what they want is to get you behind closed doors so, intimacy can happen. And now I've noticed a lot of times if you insist on public dates, most men will not be okay with that. They don't want to waste their time because they're only in it for one thing. So if you insist on public dates, this man does not want to spend any time with you in public, then that should tell you right there. Like nowadays, I feel like as though guys don't even want to go on actual dates. Okay? So that should tell you right there. He does not want to be in public with you. Red flag. That tells you right there. Move on. You're wasting your time. We don't need to be giving out, our bodies like it's trick or treat, candy at trick or treat or whatever. We're not here for that. We're not here to be used. We're not here to have our time wasted. All right. We already know what the game is. All right. So don't go to his house either. Okay. Don't tell him where you live. Just refuse to be alone with him in private. It was really sad, but that's the reality of today. The precautions they have to put in place to protect yourself and enforce your boundaries and do not budge on them. Because guys will try you on that. They like to push boundaries. They like to test boundaries. And they want to see if you really mean what you say. And you have to be that firm person that sticks to your boundaries. I don't care how they try to sweeten you up or, apologize or whatever. The damage is done. And yeah, so I think this video is getting a little long, but you guys got my point, right? I hope this helps someone. All right. If you avoid sleeping with a man will make up his mind real quickly as to whether he wants to string you along for years or yeah, like guys can, as long as they're comfortable in getting what they want, they can string a woman along for years, wasting her time. And when they find the woman they really want, they'll marry her within months. So yeah, ladies, your boundaries, you have to be strict with them. They are a non-negotiable. Okay? You cannot have flimsy boundaries. A man will walk all over that. You cannot be out here allowing men to coerce you into doing things that you're not comfortable with or things that you do not want to do. Like some of these men have tried, in dating me, they've tried and failed to get me to drop my boundaries because they didn't believe that I meant what I said. And they had to learn the hard way through a lot of effort. They had to learn that no means no. And really, they shouldn't have had that many opportunities. I should have shut that down. But yeah, a man who does not accept no for an answer is a red flag. He does not respect boundaries. Therefore, he cannot respect you if he does not respect your boundaries. It is impossible. Okay? A man who's really for you will respect your boundaries. If you say no, he's going to respect that and he should back off. If he actually cares about you, if he does not care about you and he's selfish, he's not going to respect your boundaries. He's only in it for himself because he's only in it for himself. That's a selfish person. That's a person who has no regard for your feelings or your comfort. So that already should set off a red flag in you. He doesn't care about your safety. He doesn't care about your feelings or your comfort. Red flag. Block and delete. Never look back. Now. So yeah, ladies. Again, this is not a 3-month rule. Men already know about that. This is not a 6-month rule. It's a personal protection rule and a boundary that you should have for yourself and maintain, because people will try to test it to see if you're really legit. All right, and you have to show them and cut off a persistent man. Okay, that's actually harassment, really. If this person keeps harassing you to go out with them or to do something that you're not comfortable with, and he keeps showing up and asking, and you've already said no, that at that point it's harassment, and you've already told him no, especially several times. You don't have to endure that, especially if this is someone you see at work or school on a regular basis, and this person feels that gives him or her free access to keep asking you out just because they see you on a regular basis. No, absolutely not. You don't have to endure that or tolerate that. And especially if you already said no. At that point you need to report them. So especially if you made yourself clear, you have the right to report them to HR or to any governing or administrative body that oversees your work or school. Okay. Now I've dealt guys with whom it was clear that they have never been told no. They believe they always get what they want, and that well, the buck ends here, as the saying goes. Okay, ladies, let that be you. Let that be you who says no and means what she says. No is not a weak yes. It's not a maybe. No means no. That's where that saying comes from. Does not mean keep asking me. It means no, absolutely not. It's not gonna happen. All right. Ladies, I hope you found this video helpful, and like and subscribe for more.